Hey y'all, it's me T. I just wanted to basically, I'm coming at you with a very, I feel like the vibrations are like, the vibes, vibrations, I like completed that whole word. Um, it's very quiet, so I have to not that I have to be quiet, but I feel like the energy is a bit quiet that I'm doing this late, but I love it. It's pretty awesome. So I just got back. I'm glad that I'm doing this. Um, I just got back in and I'm like super just I feel like there's been a shift. Um, and it's funny because as I'm like doing this, like I feel like we've been shifting around my room, a lot of the time. So I'm like, it's fun. It's very fun. Excuse me. So let's get right into it. What I did was I shuffled. Sometimes I shuffle on screen, sometimes I shuffle off screen, but I feel like sometimes when I shuffle off screen, it's because I can't do two things at a time, right? So like I can't keep your asses entertained while I'm shuffling. So I have it pre-shuffled, but I don't really look at the cards because I want to be surprised with you guys. However, for the first one, which is your health category for this week, I did look at it. I by accident looked at it. Um, but we're gonna get two cards out of some of the decks. So here's the first one, which is excitement, happiness. I don't know if you can see that from the glare, but at the same time, guys, I'm super excited about this card because this came up. If you watched the video earlier that I created about today, this Buddha was on it and I was like astonished, and I think that's what made me look at it like, what does it all mean, right? And so in your health, you're really going to enjoy some happiness. The number is 27. It says the very purpose of our life is to seek happiness, and it's the Dalai Lama who said that. And then it says happiness can only be experienced when the mind is quiet and the heart is open to making pure connections with your own true self, other people, and the world around you. This kind of happiness is only attainable by your sincere values of serving, giving, creating, um, and sharing and creating for mankind's higher evolution. I'm getting like super hot about that because it's like it's so big. So you guys are going to be experiencing some really big Buddha joy, and it's funny because at the last minute I was going to use another deck, but something was telling me, I was like, wait a second, like we need the laughing Buddha, right? So dude, like yes, because not all of them are the laughing Buddha, so it's like super fun. So that is that card, but then they also want me to show you that at the bottom, okay, at the bottom is the 20, it's the card number 24. Actually, this is what the artwork looks like. They're pretty freaking vibrant. I like them. 24 is the card of courage. It is not the strength of the body that counts, but the strength of the spirit. And J.R.R. Tolkien said that. And then they go into courage, saying, courage is a spiritual strength, taking you beyond all fear and resistance to remove internal and external blockages on the path. Now, here's what I'm getting with the connection of these two. So, what I'm getting is your happiness is going to give you the courage to do some things, and vice versa, okay? And these are both cultivation cards, right? So, it's like basically your the end result is going to be happiness out of a lot of different things, but what it comes down to is that you're going to gain the courage to shift things like towards your happiness in your life this upcoming week. And I feel as though it's very cool because there's like a lot of magic in the air. Hence why I'm wearing my Keeping It Real unicorn shirt, because today was or yesterday I should say, because due to the timing, was the future creativity and children aspect of life that we were going over, and what my last video was about. But that's also because what was I gonna say? Yeah, like unicorns are so for the future. That's all I have to say. They help cultivate the future stuff. But what was I gonna say? So why was I talking about the unicorns and the health? And I don't know what the fuck I was talking about that for. So because magical. Okay, that's right. So magical. Thank you, 18. So yeah, we're coming into this time of like magical like it's a magical time, and I read somewhere today that like it's happening from like the 21st, which is a transition day, right? But especially from the 22nd, so today, technically today, into January. Oh my gosh, hilarious. The wisdom card is at the bottom of the deck. So I'm sharing the wisdom with you. Oh, I thought it was the number 22. I was about to flip out, but it's the number 32. So, long story short, they're saying that, the mysticals, are the mystics, I should say, are literally saying that, so from December 22nd to January 6th, which is like the other Christmas, right? That some people celebrate. The Roman Catholic one, I guess. Or the Greek Orthodox, however you want to call it. I don't know the difference. I'm so not like of a religious type, so some people say that they're not the same thing, and I grew up thinking that they were saying the same thing, but I could be wrong. So long story short, what was I gonna say? So yeah, so we're going. The stream was interrupted. Okay, all right. Nice. Starting at minute 7. So we're gonna just be experiencing like a lot of magic and mysticalness, but also like energies that are gonna amplify us going after our dreams. Okay, like we just, excuse me, like coming out. I was like, what was that? Coming out of Sagittarius season, which was more about the believing. Now we're going into Capricorn season, which is like kind of grounding. So what we're doing is we're grounding our dreams, which means we're going after our dreams in the way that we know how. So that's really awesome, and you're gonna like super be happy about just how you're going to. So emotionally, you're gonna be like on your game. I also feel as though a lot of people are like, if you want to start like a new regimen in terms of health, like you're actually going to be starting before the new year rather than, okay, January 1st hits, now you're in the fucking gym. Like, no, you're actually going to take time. This year, you're going to be smarter than usual, and you're going to like go and do the activity, the physical activity that you want to do before the new year hits, and you're going to get on the regimen kind of before it hits. This way you're kind of like in the game, right? Yeah, like with me, like I want to start a Zumba regimen like ASAP because I've fallen off the wagon so many times, and I'm like, no. And it's not even falling off the wagon. There's like certain elements that were, that I needed in order to do it. But this time around, I'm just like, no, I have to like really just be on the bandwagon because it makes me so happy. So talk about happiness, like that's exactly what I'll be doing. And my shit starts tomorrow. I've already decided. I was like, gonna go to class tomorrow. I already chose it and everything, so I'm excited. All right, so the next one is, don't get crazy. Next one is defeat is temporary, and this is in your financial wealth, okay? So right off the bat, what I'm getting, I'm not even going to read this right now, or I'll leave it for a second. Right off the bat, I'm getting is that defeat is temporary. First of all, you may not be where you want to be financially, okay? Second of all is we have to think about how, the holidays are coming up, and they're going to leave us a little, like depleted, I guess, in a sense, like in our bank accounts. Not to say, again, it's feng shui, it's all about feng shui, so it's like whatever goes out, it's okay because you're making room for more to come back in, right? So again, that's why I'm saying don't get crazy. Defeat is temporary, but also there is change, right? There's a lot of like, so this could be gold. No, I think it's change. Oh, interesting. It's like 10 cents if we really look at it. That's interesting. So, interesting. This is why, so this is why this is cool because it's change, right? Positive change. But also, 10 is like a karmic cycle that's finishing up. So, if you've been experiencing this like lately, the cycle is closing by the end of the year. But this is basically, this reading is for a week, so it's like, this week you might feel as though like you wish you got more dreams, kind of, maybe you're like contemplating life and you're like thinking about how you're wishing that you've gotten more done this year in terms of like dream fulfillment, but you realize like you didn't either allocate money towards it or you didn't have enough towards it, or so maybe you might be a little down on yourself, but like don't let it defeat you, right? One of the most common causes. Wow, it's 12:21 and my tablet like flashed open. That's funny. Um Thank you, team. So, one of the most common causes of failure is the habit of quitting when one is overtaken by temporary defeat. Got it. So, what it's saying here is not that you can't figure it out already, but I'm just saying, in case you haven't, what it's saying is you're at like the last type of like how do I want to describe it? Like you're not that you're on your last leg, but it's like you're on your last, like, just keep on. If you know about the meme, or yeah, I think it's like an image that I saw on Facebook where it's kind of like a guy keeps on digging. There's two guys and they're comparing two same scenario, but difference in personality, where one guy, they're both in a cave and they're like digging. One guy is digging and he doesn't stop, so he hits, he finds the treasure. The other guy is digging, and then quits right, and they show like what's on the other side of the digging, and he like quits like right like before he gets the treasure, thinking that it's probably not there. So, long story short, it's like don't stop what you're doing because it's actually going to come to fruition, even if you feel that it's like sometimes we think of defeat like what's the use of us fucking doing this? And you have no idea how many times I've said it about these videos. Like I'm not even kidding you, because of the fact that it's not that I'm not trying to do anything. Like I don't have any goals with this. I just feel that I need to do it, right? And so the whole thing is, I mean, of course, you want it to be successful, but the whole thing is it's very interesting because since it's so virtual, you don't like you don't you kind of think like, since when you start you're not going to get a lot of people to watch in a sense, right? But also I don't really notify anybody. I kind of just like to get on here and just like get off. So it's like I feel like it's my type of artwork where it's just like I'm kind of like Banksy. You know how Banksy like does his fucking artwork and pieces out and doesn't give a shit if who knows about him, who knows about him and who doesn't. I'm like that. I realized that today. I'm like, I just want to get my stuff in and like just make sure I do it and then leave, and like not really not not give a fuck really, like in terms of like the feedback or whatever, and just because I like to move on to the next thing, I like to keep things fresh. But a lot of the time, as a human being and as one that grew up with not a lot of validation in terms of just old school like I feel like old school, like if you grow up with old school European people, like they don't believe in that fucking validation. They're like, do what you gotta do and call it a day. And so that's how I grew up. But like at the same time, your inner child is like, yo, tell me if I'm doing things like correctly, or if where I'm at on this journey. Like sometimes we just all curiously want to know. So we can feel defeated. What I'm trying to say is when we don't get that validation, we can feel defeated very easily. But it's like, don't go there. Just don't go there this week. If you're feeling the failure of anything, and what I'm getting is failure and habit. So if you feel like you're failing a certain habit, then it's kind of like don't put that in your mind. You know what I'm saying? Like don't let that even enter your mind, you know? And again, everything is temporary. So defeat is one of the things that is temporary. So if you're feeling a little down on your luck, quote unquote, in the financial wealth area, just know that just know that it's not going to be there for long. By the way, also what's coming to me very interestingly enough is the aspect of if you see or experience somebody around the holidays that is exuding this defeat that is temporary, show up for them. You know what I'm saying? I think this is the magical week to show up for the aspect of like if you're sensing that somebody's like, you know, that somebody is kind of feeling defeated or failure like about their habits and wanting to quit and being overtaken by, you know, this a feeling of defeat. It's like just be there for them. You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to be there monetarily. I mean, we're talking about financial wealth, but you don't have to be there monetarily, but it's just so interesting because like I was watching this it was a really good commercial for something for, and I can't remember what it was now, but like it wasn't even a bank. It was like something like basically bringing people together to talk about money. And they were like there was so many different stories. They were bringing two strangers together to talk about money and then what their money issues were like, and you know, just to kind of be there for a support of one another. And I thought it was so beautiful because like there was, you know, because obviously it's off of the idea that people don't like to talk about money. It's like, you know, it's like just something that you don't talk about, but something that you can so feel a defeat about. And, you know, one person there was like, she was like, I was contemplating on if I should literally like just take my life so that my mom could have the insurance money to pay off my debt, because she's like, I don't see another way out. Like, she's like, I don't see. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, fuck, man, there are so many people going through. And again, she's not the only one. Like, there are so many people, especially now. I heard, like, that's another, like, thing that I heard is, like, so many people nowadays, like, especially during the holiday season, it's like suicide, like, the number of suicide, I was gonna say committed crimes, but they're not. They're like suicide, I guess, not attempts, but fucking like the number of suicides is what I want to say. Sorry guys, my like I have like these crazy ass sideburns, and I'm like, dude, I like just sometimes they're from my Hispanic side, and so España, you know what I'm saying, and so like I just feel like they're out today. They just really want to be like out, and I'm like, yo, stay back, kids, stay back. So anyhow, so a long story short, yeah, so like when it comes down to people like feeling defeated about finances, it's like no. Oh, that's what I want to say is that it's literally the season of where suicide rates, thank you, that's what I was looking for. Suicide rates are really high. That's nothing to smile about, but like literally I'm smiling for the aspect of healing it. But the whole thing is, it's like, you know, we don't realize that some people are really hurting out there in terms of like they don't see another way out, and we just as humans need to be there for them. All right, so that's another, like, defeat is temporary. Like, just if that needs to be a message that you need to share with somebody this week, let that be the message, right? Defeat is only temporary. Let them understand that, you know. That's something that was really coming to me. Wow, if you can only like take that away from this entire thing, holy shit, that's fucking big. Huge. Are we moving on? Yes. All right, real relationships. We got two cards for this one too. The first card is ask for a sign. Real relationships. So what I'm getting off the bat is is romantic relationships, but this doesn't have to be romantic. It could just be from anything. It could be like business wise. By the way, going back here to defeat is temporary too. It's like business goes down a little bit these days, right? So, so we might like we might not so much have planned for it, but you know, and we might think that it's kind of like not a good time for that. But just know it's the holidays, right? That's also what I wanted to get in there. Um, so ask for a sign. I feel as though the there there are changes happening with, oh, interesting, with this full moon that's happening tonight, in terms of December 22nd. And it's really, I want to say it's miraculously magical because I'm seeing these like dots, and they could be stars. Maybe yeah, maybe it's, that's interesting. Maybe it's stars, but like I see sparkles too. So again, I mean, this is like, it's kind of like we see it's an angel, but I see these as like these little orbs, like as angels as well. So it's kind of like you have all different types of angels around you, whether it be, you know, one's invisible or visible. Um, this is with, what is it? Oh, real relationships. Okay. I see you, okay, I see you receiving flowers, like blossoming of sorts, but also you're giving the gift of like transformation, of like lightheartedness, of compassion, of purity, right? And even just by like smiling at somebody, I feel like you're really gonna super heal, right? I was smiling before as I was talking about suicide rates going up, and it's just kind of like, it's sometimes we do stupid shit that we don't realize what we do, and it comes off as stupid shit, but it's like literally like you're meant to do that in order to solve a problem, you know, and you don't realize why, but but the thing is, a lot of the times you have to kind of like, you have to like lighten up the mood in terms of what you're talking about, and that too is still healing and also transmits that energy, which we don't realize. So it's like I never even judge myself, like I just have to kind of, sometimes I just have to like back myself up in terms of why that's happening, so that people would on a more evolved and more expanded level understand where that's coming from, rather than just be like, you know, like if you're a fucking judgmental person, which I really don't attract, so like I don't understand why I have to like kind of go into it, but sometimes it's just a teaching thing, right? It's just whatever, in case anybody drops in, right? So, um, so yeah, so ask for a sign in terms of, and you know, and what I'm getting about this real relationship is literally like so remember when I said romantic, I feel as though you're going to be asking for a confirmation from your angels for the fact that like if this person that you're going to have, that you're going to have the courage from, yeah, courage, like is this person, cuz you're what is it called, like collecting the courage, you're like, you're building up the courage, thank you. You're building up the courage to literally maybe ask somebody out, or just like connect with somebody, or whatever, just like put yourself out there, right? And so I feel as though somebody's going to be just asking like, can you give me a sign if this is what I should be doing, because I don't want to feel rejected in any type of way, right? Like you don't want to feel that rejection. But guys, again, rejection is never a damn bad thing. It's literally like, it's literally a clarification for you. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Like, even if somebody were to say, uh, you know, hey, that's not like what I'm thinking, it's like, okay, cool. You've just gained some clarity for yourself, and that's a gift to yourself. Also, rejection is fucking never a bad thing, because it's leading you to somewhere else that's even more beautiful that you've never even thought of, right? So it's redirecting you. Um, but it's also, and also, excuse me, what did I want to say? It is also the aspect of you, so clarity, redirection, and oh, it's also like, dude, if you love yourself, you'll never have to experience rejection. Like, because it's rejection, I feel like, is a bit not fed to you, but like taught to you, like from a young age, right? Like, oh, like if you're rejected, like you should like respond a certain way, like you should feel this certain way, and it's just like you don't have to respond to anything as a rejection. You could just say thanks, cool, keep it fucking simple 101, right? So and just like keep it moving, like it's all good, like no one has to experience like such fucking dramatic like rejection if you're the one deciding that you won't, you know what I'm saying? So again, it's you loving yourself, and it's like if you love yourself fully, totally, wholesomely, completely, which is what I wish upon everybody, you'll be secure enough to literally love yourself no matter what happens. Like if you get beat the fuck up, if you get, if somebody turns around and says some fucking crazy shit to you, it's like, all right, it's like, who gives a shit? Like, it's not, and the thing is, I hate saying this, but I love saying this at the same time. It's like, it's never you 100%. So a lot of people say it's really never you. And a lot of the time, it really isn't you. It's your light that people can't handle. So, so a lot of the time it's like, you'd be doing your own thing and then somebody has a fucking issue with it. And then it just, like they just like spit out a whole bunch of whatever, like negative vibes. But like it has not, so that has nothing to do with you. It's just the inability that they have not to literally be able to handle all of the light that you exude, right? So and a lot of the light, it comes in authenticity, but the thing is, if you have an authentic relationship with yourself, if you are real and true with yourself, and stick to that all the time, and you then do that with other people, you will less likely be like rejected on a negative level, or be given that type of like that those like negative vibes, because of the fact that it's kind of like at the same time you have this force field of being like, no, you can't go there because I don't even fucking go there with myself or with other people, right? So that's the whole thing. It's just like it's like you're unaccepting of it, and that's what your energy kind of exudes, right? So so yeah, I just want to cover that in terms of, yeah, rejection. Ask for a sign. Yeah, and so I think you'll also be receiving a sign. It's not even just asking for it. Maybe you've prayed also so much. Oh, okay, that's interesting. It's like maybe these are all these prayers that you've put into the universe. That could be it. And then you had already asked for a sign, and you will be receiving the blessings. They want me to go at the bottom of the deck of this one too, which is also for real relationships. And the one that I got is apologize. All right. So apologize is, let me just like sit here for a second with it. You want me to read it in the book? Okay. Hold on, guys, 1 second. I have to just like read it in the book. And the reason why I picked out this this card deck is because indigo angels are like the realest. They like say the truth. They don't give a damn. They don't give a fuck either. It's like, it's a beautiful thing. So what am I looking for? Oh, apologize. And I actually like how we're gonna go into this, because I feel as though there are definitely a lot of I feel like that's funny. Fiery just showed up, and I was gonna say, like, there's gonna be a lot of sparks that come from this, I feel. So it says, this card asks you to take the high road in the situation and apologize to either the people involved, if applicable, or yourself for the things that have been bothering you. Your honesty and fiery indigo nature may inadvertently lead you to say things that might hurt others' feelings. Yeah, because fucking dudes, hold on, guys. Like, like have to. All right, I feel like this chair might fall off. All right. But I was gonna say like, cause I feel like indigo, like the realist indigo angels, which are basically real relationships, they literally can say things with such power that people aren't used to it because it's a lot of passion that they're filled with, right? Like truth passion. That's the essence that might hurt others because funny enough, we live in a society that really can't handle the truth a lot of the times, even though it is loving and even though it is so awesome to hear the truth, like we're not used to it. Like I feel like in Europe they speak too much of the truth, but here not enough of the truth is spoken in terms of like, if you have a friend and you have like something sticking out of your nose, like some people won't fucking say a damn thing because they don't want to make you feel embarrassed or some shit. And it's like, but a true friend would show up and say, "Hey, dude, like you got something hanging out of your nose, like fix it." And it's just like, okay, cool, you're gonna go fix it and then it all will be good. And that's a true friend, right? So again, things might like, the truth might hurt in that sense, like it might be a little embarrassing, but don't ever fucking be afraid to say it because of the fact that it might save somebody one day from doing stupid shit that that they'll thank you for later, if not right there and right then. Or never thank you, but at least you're free in your spirit and your soul because you've said your fucking part and you've said your piece, right? And by peace I mean PEACE. Like you've deaded something that you would have held on to, and that's not right. It says saying that you're sorry is one of the best ways to let the pressure off of yourself and diffuse tension. Even if you perceive that you've done nothing wrong, the angels ask that you apologize in general for any disappointment or frustration that arose. Now it's very interesting because sometimes the diffused tension, I love that phrase. That phrase is so super awesome. Like to me it's like, oh, so super hyped because of the fact that if you can't do it, within and of yourself, you literally just pray about it, right? For it to just be diffused somehow. Because sometimes, again, guys, we don't have the courage to do it all the time. And some of us have a lot of courage on a fucking daily basis and we're literally fucking superheroes. I don't give a shit. That it takes a lot of us to have the courage to apologize, so we won't. Like there's some people, like I know that there's like some things that maybe because of like certain things, like because I have a scenario going on in my life where it's like I've been contemplating, I'm like, should I not? But the thing is, I have the courage to fucking apologize and to be kind and to be all this good shit all the time, right? And the thing is, I can't be the only one doing it around me. You know what I'm saying? So now, no matter how much time it takes, it's like I'm allowing the other person to actually grow into their courage and fucking do it for the both of us, or never. And that's okay too. Do you know what I'm saying? But I know that I have to kind of just pull back a little bit because I was always the kind one to always be giving. And actually, I gave it right off the bat, right? But maybe it wasn't heard at the time. But the whole thing, so that's why I'm like, I always feel into the situation and I'm always like, do I feel okay with this? If I'm at peace, then I know I did everything right for me. If I don't feel the peace, then I need to diffuse something to then fucking feel the peace, right? But in this case, not going into it, like, I feel very inner peace. So I'm just like, you know what? I don't give a fuck about, the way that traditional shit needs to be done and things like that. Like, no, like, I see everybody as human and, and I'm not an ageist. And that's basically where I stand with things. So, if I, like, again, if I did something wrong, I'll apologize for it. But if I know that another person did something wrong and just refuses to apologize for it, I accept that too, right? It's just like one of those things. But I'm not going to go out of my way anymore to just like apologize for something that, just for the other person to just be able to not get away with, but more so to be like, feel like they don't have to do anything, but it's being like handed on a silver platter. Like, not doing that. Like, just definitely not doing that for certain people, and also for the people and I'm not going to say people, I'm just going to say for those that kind of are expecting it from you, or you know, are kind of just like whatever. I don't know. I'm just gonna end it right there. Like, I forgot what I was saying, but like that's the whole thing. It's just like just diffuse the tension if you feel that you need to diffuse it for yourself, and that's where you get the courage from. It's like self love, man, because you don't deserve to feel that tension if it's there, right? So it says, even if you perceive that you've done nothing wrong, the angels ask you to apologize in general for any disappointment or frustration that arose. Now that could be, you have to feel that out, and again, that's the high road there, which is beautiful, but sometimes like when you're the person of the high road all the fucking time, it's like sometimes it's a no. Sometimes it's a fucking no. Sometimes people need to be taught, and it's just like, and not from you, but just by time in general, and it's just like, and you have to be okay with that, right? Be sure to have an. Usually that happens. I don't know why that's timing out on me, guys. But usually that happens with people that are not honest with themselves. That's the funny part. So you just have to understand that could be the case, right? So it says, be sure to have an honest discussion with yourself or the other person about the underlying feelings that led to the conflict. The angels certainly don't want you to cover up your true emotions. So it says, know that while saying you're sorry may not be easy or even seem fair in this situation, it's being asked of you because it serves a higher purpose. This is a lesson for you to put aside your pride and do something for the greater good. I'm always doing something for the greater good, so I don't want to fucking hear it. I don't, I love this card and I appreciate this card because it's all true. But with me, it's like I can't be the one that always thinks about the greater good. I mean, I will be in my own way, but when it comes down to certain scenarios in your life, it can't be me all the time, right? It's like it takes two to tango, baby. So, you know, let it be what it needs to be. What was I gonna say? And that's the funny part too. Let me just like add this in there. Is that I'm the type of person that thinks about life and death all the time, and maybe because I'm a Scorpio rising, and so in Scorpio rising, Scorpio in the traditional tarot, I believe is represented by the Death card, right? And what was I gonna say? So I'm always thinking about the essence of, if somebody passes away today, will I be okay with not having spoken to them, right? Like, just because you're standing up for yourself, but also standing up to a concept that you truly value and believe in, and they do too, but they just fucking choose to ignore it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like whatever. But so I think like that all the time. This is what makes me really think of the greater good a lot of the time, because I feel as though, you know, it's important. It's important to think like that, because anything can change at any fucking split moment. That I don't want to, I will not actually, I refuse. And I work so much with, like, in terms of regret, like, because my whole goal is to basically do whatever it takes to not feel that at the end of the day. So the whole thing is, it's like when it comes down to it, I like, and even in scenarios that I'm unsure of, I still have to kind of keep talking to myself and talk myself through it, and talk myself, like, give myself a pep talk. And also talk and be honest. Just, it says, be sure to have an honest discussion with yourself, and the other person. The other person, I have an honest discussion with myself, with the creator, and actually I just thought of it right now. I could have a higher discussion with, or I could have a discussion with their higher self, which I never really thought of. So that would be good too, because you could do that. But the whole thing is, and I might just do that if that needs to be. But also, I notice that it happens telepathically too. Like when you're in that kind of tension, like tense situation, telepathically, ideas or messages are being exchanged, right? So you might not have to say a damn thing. It's just energetically that kind of things, end up exchanging, right? On a non-traditional level. So that's something that you can trust too, that, it's all working out in a good way, in that sense. Do I move on? Yeah. In the business area, you have goals, which makes sense because it's the end of the year. All right, so it says, if you give up before your goal has been reached, which is interesting because that is very much so connected to the defeat is temporary, you are a quitter. A quitter never wins, and a winner never quits. Golden nest egg. So I feel as though it's very interesting. One of the business transactions that might be happening is you might be moving to a new nest, okay? And it's golden. It's like this is exciting, okay? Again, there is change here, which is very interesting because see the background change and change. Interesting. I took it from the same deck because like this is both of these cards are from the deck Think and Grow Rich. And I felt like financial wealth has a lot to do with it, and business has a lot to do with it. So I was like, let's just take it from the same deck. And so this is kind of self-explanatory. I want to talk about winning status though, but this is kind of self-explanatory in terms of goal setting. It's like 2019 goal setting. Something's coming through where it's about a quitter. Okay. What I'm getting is to review all of the projects that you've kind of paused in or quit in or you felt defeated in, and see if they are to be given another go, okay? Also with the winning never quits. It's really interesting because I have like a interesting opinion on this. I don't know what's really coming up here because I can go into it, but it says a winner never quits, and so it's very interesting because a winner to me always goes with their intuition. So, depending on what you're talking about, a winner never quits. It's like sometimes you have to all the time actually you have to go with your intuition on things, right? So your intuition on things is what makes you a winner. And sometimes your intuition is going to tell you to quit something, and that's what you have to kind of listen to, right? So many people think like, oh, if I took something on like a job, I have to stay there for 10 years even if I'm fucking so fucking unhappy and miserable. There's another, like, even in marriage, some people think, oh, I got married and now I have to stay in this marriage forever because that's what I vowed for. But yet they're so fucking miserable and unhappy and don't believe that they can get better. And it's just kind of like, that's when you need to quit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's like, you have those feelings, you need to fucking quit because it's not, because you're not feeling, if you're not feeling like a winner and yet but you're being honest with yourself, right? About different things, then you need to kind of make moves in order to gain more wins upon different goals that you have, okay? So I hope that came out right. I don't know if it did. But the whole thing is, it's like when it comes down to, so the goals that you may have is either they just need to be reviewed, whether you are needing to quit them because they no longer satisfy you and you've given them all that you've kind of given them, right? But also sometimes you don't need to question all that. Sometimes it's just like intuitively, are you still connected with this or are you not? Like, do you still find this important or do you not, and that's basically how to take a look at different things. And you know, and in order for having something to stick around, it needs to make you feel like a winner, or you need to feel like a winner in terms of it being in your surroundings, right? So if it's taking you down, if it's stressing you out too much, it's like, dude, listen, sometimes you got to cut your losses, you know what I'm saying? And remove them, cut them and remove them so that you can literally bring in something newer, better. And not only that, by newer and better, I mean newer and better ideas in terms of you know, maybe the events or the projects that you have going on, like currently, right, that you're working on. Sometimes those need better ideas. So it's like you cut your fucking losses and you quit what your intuition's telling you to quit, so that you can simplify your life a little bit. That came out crazy. You can simplify your life a little bit, and then you can literally, you know, it's kind of like dodging a bullet. Like you just literally just are able to, you know, just are able to download more ideas towards something that is more so willing to grow, you know, or is going to grow. Is that it for right there and then? Yeah, that's it, guys. So I'm going to get going. I love you so much. Have a wonderful week and talk to you soon. Bye.